guys, it's Isabel. Welcome to my channel. Today I am working on this lovely photo of my daughter. They were taken around the neighborhood actually. I walked my brother and my daughter around taking pictures for Easter, and we found a rose bush, and my mom thought it would be really neat to have her hold some roses. We never pulled them off. They're still attached to the bush, but what I'm thinking is I definitely want to use this blue because it matches her dress. And I don't really have much colors to work with on the picture color palette. And I don't want to do a lot of just blue and green. So her dress has like a silver shine to it. So I thought using the white would be a good way to bring in maybe a little bit more than just blue and green. I know you don't have to scrap with the colors in the photos, but I always feel like it correlates nicer to the picture. So I do my best to just stay on the picture's color palette. Now, what I was doing was trying to figure out if I wanted to use solid cardstock or pattern cardstock. And what I decided on, actually, because I do like this white glitter cardstock, I want to border the blue that I'm definitely going to be using. The only thing is it's not popping off of the white because it's so light. So I'm going to bring in the pewter gray and just ink the edges. And I think it'll work because my daughter has a little bit of silver on her dress. But let me get the base done. I'm also going to border the photo the same way, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I got them both bordered. The blue is inked on the photo and the layout. What I originally was thinking was I was going to play with layers on this photo, but I couldn't settle on the right colors. And the more that I added the layers, the more I felt like it was taken away from the photo. So what I'm going to do is I went diving in my stash, and I found these roses that match perfectly with the roses my daughter's holding. And I'm going to have the Cricut cut a circle so that I can do almost like an arch over her and then just do the flowers on the bottom because I only have 10. But I did mess around with my stamps and my embossing, and I created a rose that kind of looks similar. It's not 100% dead on, but if I have to utilize it, I know that it at least looks similar. And I use this one, but I use it differently. And then I make one more, so you guys will be able to see how I make it. I'm just going to take these 10 roses that I have on this package and lay them underneath her as if she plucked the 2 roses in her hand from this bunch. Now, it is going to take me a while because I only have 10 pieces to work with, and I felt like it wasn't enough. But rather than make a bunch of little roses to try to mimic them, I was able to separate them because they are layered roses. When you pull the top piece off, there's another full rose on the bottom. So I was able to just take them apart, cut them here and there, and created a more full rose look for the bottom. Now, once I get that portion done and taken care of, I am going to bring in my Bira punch and create a border that goes around the photo. And I'm going to utilize the gray that I did the arch in, just to bring in some more of the gray around the photo. So once I get that done, I know the corners are not perfect, but I'm going to bring in some beige tones because the flowers that my daughter's holding and the roses underneath are more of an off-white beige. So I bring in a solid and a pattern cardstock. It just has some word phrases on it, and I'm gonna get 4 cards cut out. I start with 5 because one of them's it's got a rose punched out, and I'm gonna back it so that it's solid, but I'm gonna color the rose itself. And then I'm just gonna layer these going up, and these tags are going to block that corner for me so that you can't tell that it's uneven. This little design right here, on my last hop, one of the girls, Anna over at Peacecraft Love, designed her layout with the tags going up the photo, and I really liked the look of it. So I'm going to utilize that part of the design on this layout. And once I'm happy with where they're going to sit, I'm going to come in with my inks. I pull in the Close to My Heart Almond for the rose, and then I pull in the Rustic Wilderness and Distress Oxide for the stem and the leaves. Now, what I'm going to do is basically I use my pencil to mark off where the rose ends and starts. And I'm just going to ink the section of where the rose is going to sit and bring in my embossing. I have a glitter embossing powder. I'm going to bring my pen in and just color the portion of the rose and then use that glitter, emboss it, and it's going to give it a little bit of a shine because these flowers underneath my daughter have a glitter shine to them. I thought that it would be a pretty neat technique to bring in some more glitter on all the roses that I create. So once the top part is done, I'm just going to come in with Rustic Wilderness in Distress Oxide and color the bottom portion of this tag so that when I adhere the top piece, it will be a colored rose. Now, it felt like it was missing something once I got it done. So I pulled a sticker book from my collection. It's Recollections. I got it from Michael's. And it has some gold phrases in it. And so I used for this tag Beautiful Day. And then for the other solid tag, I'm going to add that rose that I showed you guys in the beginning that I already created. And just cut apart one of the stickers to utilize the leaves so that I have leaves on that rose. Now, originally I thought that I was going to add some dimension to it, but it didn't sit well on the ladder of tags. So I take away the dimension and I just glue it flat and then go back into the book and pick a floral where I'm going to just crop the leaves off of it. Not all of them, but just enough to give me the leaf design that's sitting behind the rose so that it kind of offsets from the background on its own because they're pretty much the same color. And then you also watched me ink the edges of all of them. I used the almond from Close to My Heart, and I did this because these tags are all the same color and I wanted them to be a little individualized even though they're represented in the same space on the layout. Now, this is a quick look of how I created that rose. I took the beige cardstock, I stamped it with the almond ink from Close to My Heart. I took a color pencil and just shaded in all of the details on the flower. And if the flower doesn't have details, then anywhere that there's a crease, you pretty much just do a little bit of shading. Then I took my embossing ink and went over all the shading that I did, threw on some of the embossing glitter, and when I heated it up, I had the glitter cardstock, which kind of looks the same, but since it's on the top and not with the cluster, I felt like I could get away with it just being a little off. I don't think it looks bad. I actually like the way that it turned out. I did try to bring up some of the little piece ones that I cut, but the only ones that really looked good with it were the ones that were not fully in bloom because they were a little bit darker. So I just leave those two up there, just make that cluster a little bit. And I'm going to bring in some stamps. Now, I have this little leaf pattern. And what really is a pet peeve of mine is when I buy stamps and I don't pay attention to the design. But there are some stamps where they will give you two of the same stamps and just mirror the image so that it at least goes the opposite way. This one did not have it, so I had to work with what I had, which means that all of these leaves that are hanging down are all going to be going the same way. I would have preferred, half the page go to the left down and to the right down, but because there's only one stamp going one way, I have the design on the left going down and the design on the right facing up. And it's okay. I didn't put too many on there because of that issue, but it's really a pet peeve of mine. I think the designers that make the stamps should at least keep in mind that we're using them for cards and layouts, and they should just at least go both ways. That's my little vent for this little video. What I did was I brought in two inks. I brought in the New England Ivy and from Close to My Heart and the Rustic Wilderness from Distress Oxide, and just blended both colors together and then cut them out in the leaf. Now, what I didn't notice was that I was so focused on the top corner flower that I didn't put the leaves on the bottom. So they didn't make the video, but when you get the close-ups at the end, you're gonna see that they magically appeared. I did go back and add those down. I can't believe I completely bypassed that, but it happens. My title is going to come from a Thickers collection. It's going to be Lovely Day. I had to crop the day off because I couldn't make anything work. Like I was going to do Today's Life and it just, I didn't like it. So instead of saying today, I cut off the day and Lovely Day is what I got. I'm going to bring in some twine to add to my tags so that they're not naked. And I'm going to still use that technique of gluing the twine down to the layout so that they're not just flying every which way, because twine is stubborn and doesn't want to cooperate with a bend. I'm going to adhere them with my tacky glue and just get like some kind of pattern shape going on here like I did in the last layout. I'm also going to go back to the sticker book because I added a little bit of gold between the tags and the title. I'm going to find just a little leaf, not a leaf, but like a floral pattern in gold and just add them to the florals. That way there's some gold spread out throughout the layout. And I really like how that just tied everything in. This is pretty much going to be the layout, you guys. I am very proud of this one. No sketch, no scrap lift, just inspiration pulled from what I've seen. I do like how this one turned out. I did also forget that I bring in some Close to My Heart butterfly sequins. They have that white and green holographic layer on them. I just add 6 of them to the layout. I hope you enjoyed the process video. I hope you guys give me a thumbs up. If you were not subscribed, please do subscribe. I have more videos coming out. I am going on vacation next week, so I have a lot of work to get done within the week and hopefully get these videos posted for premiere so that they still pop up while I'm gone. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much again for joining me. Leave me a comment below. Tell me what you think. You all have a wonderful day. Bye.